Welcome to a slightly more in-depth review of the Vivo Barefoot Primus Trail firm ground collaboration with Finisterre. I'm not quite sure how you pronounce it. I've done a short on this already, having a quick look, but I've now been wearing these for several months and done a lot of miles in them in the hot summer sun, and a bit of wind and rain going into the UK autumn as well. I just thought I'd give a little bit more detail on how I found them. So I think the first thing to jump out with is they're a really, really good looking pair of shoes. One of the first thing that drew me to them above any other Vivo Barefoot Primus Trails was the collaboration does kind of make them look really good. You've got the blue detail here. The kind of, if I zoom in a bit closer, you've got kind of the sparkly detail going down here as well. And just in general, I think those blue touches, and then you've got the black trim all around the edges, and then you've got the orange boot strap at the back there. I think that all that detail makes these a really, really nice looking pair of shoes. And he's also got the coloured insole there as well. So as far as how kind of different elements of kind of what a barefoot shoe is and how they've kind of performed against that. First of all, looking at the kind of the zero drop element, yeah, they are a zero drop shoe. I say completely zero drop. Putting them on, your foot feels completely flat and firm to the ground, so there's no real arguments there. As far as that ground feel, it's just kind of the main thing that Viva Barefoot, that barefoot ground feel that they sell themselves on. These are absolutely incredible for that. I feel a lot walking on kind of more rocky, uneven, gravelly, stony ground. I feel a lot underfoot compared to wearing normal trainers, which is the point. There is enough protection because the point is there are those firm ground trail shoes. So you can see the lugs here. I think they're 2.5mm lugs. I have to check on the website. So you do get a decent amount of protection. I've gone running in these, and I've gone for long walks through forests, through woods, on the beach, through kind of rocky areas of the beach, as well as sandy areas, as well as just walking through town. And you do feel stuff, but I'm very used to wearing barefoot shoes now, so that doesn't bother me, and that's kind of the point of getting them. So yeah, that barefoot element to it, that kind of feeling of the ground, is fantastic in these. Weight, they're so light compared to a normal trainer. They're really, really lightweight, and again, I absolutely love that. I've now got very used to wearing barefoot shoes over the past couple of years, so I'm almost very sensitive to now putting normal shoes on. I really feel the weight of normal shoes, whereas these, you barely feel a thing, to be honest. You can barely tell you're wearing shoes. Comfort wise, oh wow, they are incredibly comfortable. I'm going to put it out there, barefoot shoes or not, these are the most comfortable pair of shoes I've ever worn. This kind of knit element, I think, is one of the main selling points for these. The knit at the top there, that stretchiness of the knit, you can see as I expand it, the holes open up, so it gives it that breathability as the holes open up. But if you kind of put your foot in, as you move and walk, the shoe flexes, and that top knit flexes with the movement of your foot. So it begins by keeping a real tight shape around the top of your foot and around the sides of your foot. But as you're walking and you're moving and you're jumping and you're climbing, that knit stretches and moves with your foot. And as a result, it really does feel like a second skin on your feet. It's lightweight, it's tight around your feet, but not tight to the point of being uncomfortable. It's just secure, but it moves and breathes so well with your foot. I barely tighten these up anymore. I'd say it's the one slight negative-ish comment. It's a bit stiff, kind of doing the strings on these, but I'll be honest, as I said, it fits so nicely around your ankle. I barely do them up anyway. They've become a pair of slip-ons, if anything. I love this element here, the stretchiness around here, all that stretchiness. It just really hugs around your ankle, and it feels absolutely brilliant. As far as kind of the tread goes, again, I think it's about 2.5mm. It's enough. I would say in really wet, muddy conditions, you probably would be slipping around a little bit, but I have boots for that purpose. I'm not going to go and wear these deliberately in really wet, muddy conditions. I'm wearing these as more of a general kind of firmer ground trail kind of shoe, which is hence the reason they're a trail firm ground, and also just for getting around, going to the park with my kids, and more of a general shoe. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I think warmth wise, They're reasonably warm. They keep my feet decent, warm enough kind of throughout the late summer and early autumn we've had in the UK. I think as it goes into winter, I will wear these less, and I'll transition to more of a boot. But that's understandable. But again, with a decent pair of socks under here, you're warm enough for most conditions, unless it's really cold. But you do just feel that with the colder air, you do feel it through the top there a little bit more probably than more of a non-knit conventional pair of trainers. In the heat is where I was really, really surprised. As you said, you've got kind of the more plasticky material down here, and then you've got the knit. I thought the knit, because it feels nice and soft, almost feels warmish, I thought that was going to make my feet sweat wearing a pair of socks. It hasn't at all. This summer in the UK, it's not been the hottest summer, but when we have had hot days, I've worn these with socks and my feet have felt absolutely fine. I am really touchy with feeling hot, having hot feet. I hate it. I usually wear sandals an awful lot of the time for that reason. And most trainers I struggle to wear in hot weather. These, no issue at all. The breathability was absolutely fantastic this summer wearing these, and my feet very rarely felt too warm wearing these shoes. Other than that, there's not a more else to say, other than, I wear these constantly now. My original view was to kind of wear them in the summer and autumn and spring, going out and about with my kids, going on walks, and kind of that kind of hiking type use and going out on rougher terrain. I now just slip them on to just go out the house, go anywhere. I'm putting these on for the simple reason they will tackle most conditions if you need them to. Not designed for being in really hot, or they're not designed for being in really cold and wet, muddy conditions, but they can handle it. And also, they're just so comfortable. They feel so light on my feet. I can barely tell I'm wearing them half the time. I really struggle with any other shoes now that aren't barefoot shoes, but in particular when I've been wearing these for a while. So yeah, they're just easy to slip on, easy to get off, comfortable the whole time, and I think they look really good. They look decent enough with a pair of jeans. They look great with a pair of summer shorts. Fine with cargo pants. Good to train in. So yeah, my main conclusion with these is if you were looking at barefoot shoes at the moment and you were thinking, I just want a shoe to get me into it that I can use for a lot of different things, I'd be going for the Viva Barefoot Primus Trail Firm Grounds. And if you can get the Finisterre, whatever it is, collaboration, brilliant, because they look fantastic. But I'd definitely be going with the Firm Grounds. And I would recommend the knit over the I think non-knit. I can't remember what it's called. I've got the Primus lights in the non-knit, so I can tell the difference between that upper surface, and I definitely prefer the knit now. So yeah, if you're looking for like almost your first pair of barefoot shoes to wear for everything, I'd be going for a pair just like this, the Primus Trail knit Firm Grounds. But also, if you are looking for something, to go walking in, particularly in this maybe slightly drier weather, but a general walking shoe that you're not going to aim to use in the real cold and wet weather, because that's the point where I would be looking at more of a barefoot walking boot. But anything other than that, if you want that outdoorsy trail running, trail walking shoe, these are perfect. And they're not cheap, but I would back these to be lasting a hell of a long time because they feel like they're really, really well made. But yeah, that's it. If you've got any questions, just put them in the comments section. Thank you.